Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we just taking a look at the top news story and rumors you need to know, including, the Fiend Bray Wyatt returns plan, Shayna Baszler's new feud with Alexa Bliss and Lilly future, Nia Jax send heartfelt message to Lana, Roman Reigns tongue slip, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more wrestling news stories. Bray Wyatt took on Randy Orton at WrestleMania 37, in a puzzling and underwhelming contest where he came up short. This was thanks to a distraction from Alexa Bliss, who was portrayed as his ally until then. Many wondered how the Bray Wyatt vs Alexa Bliss storyline would progress. Unfortunately, Wyatt has been missing from WWE Raw ever since. This has led many fans to wonder where the resident scary man of WWE is. When will Bray Wyatt return to WWE? It should be noted that even though he's been missing from WWE television, Bray Wyatt put up a tweet last month. While it was an allusion to the zombies that appeared during the lumberjack match between The Miz and Damian Priest, Bray Wyatt did ask the WWE Universe if they missed him. Is this a hint that he could be coming back to action? There is no official word on why Bray Wyatt has been away for so long, but it may just be a question of waiting until fans are back in the arena. Creative may also have nothing to do with him, and they may be waiting for a way for the Fiend character to evolve and transform into its next avatar, as it has done previously. In exclusive for Sportskeeda Wrestling, former WWE writer Vince Russo pointed out that he may be dealing with some health issues, but obviously, because of the sensitive nature of the same, he did not delve into it further. If that is indeed the case, we wish Bray Wyatt all the best and hope that he'll be back in action once again very soon. Alexa Bliss is still playing her supernatural persona on Raw, and there's certainly a storyline to be explored there. In fact, with a slew of releases from the company, Bray Wyatt's return is absolutely necessary. Whether he comes back as the Fiend, or in one of the many other personas he's donned over the years, Bray Wyatt's return is imminent. There is no timeline yet, but when it comes to Wyatt, expect the unexpected. Boom! Lana was released by WWE earlier this week alongside multiple other major stars. Following her WWE release, she sent out a heartfelt message to the fans, thanking them. Replying to this tweet, Nia Jax expressed her sadness and reminded everyone that Lana put her through her first table. One of the most talked about storylines of last year in WWE was the feud between Nia Jax and Lana on Monday Night Raw, that saw Jax put the ravishing Russian through the announcer table for several weeks in a row. She finally got her revenge by returning the favor to Jax earlier this year during their match. The tweet from WWE's official Twitter account shows the moment on the February 8, 2021, episode of Monday Night Raw where Lana finally put Jax through a table. During an interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling's Rick Ucchino last year, Lana spoke about her storyline against Nia Jax and the entire table streak. The former WWE superstar claimed that she surprised herself and a lot of people who didn't think she was resilient and tough. I definitely didn't think it was off the bat, that's for sure. I just kept on showing up. Nia Jax was not going to keep me down, and I think, honestly, I surprised myself and surprised a lot of people. I don't think anyone thought I was going to be durable, as resilient, and tough. And I said, no, you're not going to keep me down. No one is. I am tough, I am durable, I am resilient, and I am more than enough. I told myself those words every morning, laughs, and I repeated it over and over again until I believed it. And, yeah, I just kept on showing up, kept on coming back. No, you're not going to keep me down, Nia, said Lana. Boom! The new storyline between Shayna Baszler and Alexa Bliss and Lilly picked up on this week's WWE Raw. This week's Raw saw Bayzler lose a singles match to Reginald, after another mysterious explosion came from the ring post, as Bayzler had the Kirifuda clutch applied for the finish. Reginald took advantage of the explosion, and rolled Bayzler up for the pin to win. Bliss later invited Reginald to visit, she and Lilly on Alexa's playground, but Bayzler interrupted that segment, beat Reginald down and had words for Bliss. Bliss responded to the beatdown to Reginald by telling Bayzler she wasn't invited to play on the playground this week, because Lilly doesn't like her. Bayzler warned that, Bliss is becoming a big problem, and Bliss just saw how Bayzler handles her problems. Bayzler then said that, she and Bliss need to have a chat before this whole thing gets out of hand, so she will see her next week to have that chat. Bayzler then stood up to leave, and acted like she wanted to put hands on Bliss, but she knelt down in Lily's face, and said she's just a stupid doll. Bayzler walked off while Bliss looked on with a crazy look in her eye. Next week's Raw will now feature Bayzler in a segment with Bliss and Lily. This week's Raw explosion wasn't the first time that Bliss and Lily have brought their magic powers into Bayzler's world. Bliss started watching some matches from the stage with Lily a few weeks back, letting the women's division know that they had their eye on someone special. The May 10th Raw saw Bayzler's go out as she, Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair were facing Asuka, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. The May 17th Raw then saw a mysterious explosion go off while Bayzler and Jax were getting their rematch from WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Natalya and Tamina Snuka, right as Bayzler had the Kirifuda clutch on Snuka. That explosion allowed Tamina to break the hold, which led to the champs retaining, and it also knocked Reginald off the ring steps. Last week's Raw on May 24th featured another wacky explosion, as Jax and Baszler received another shot at the titles. This explosion went off as Bayzler yelled at Reginald to get away from the ringside area, knocking him down as he reached the top of the ramp. This led to Natalya pinning a distracted Bayzler to retain. Bliss has not commented on this week's storyline developments, but Bayzler did respond to her face-off with Lily by using the reality hashtag. Regarding Jax, she did not actually take sides on this week's Raw, but as she has in recent weeks, it was indicated that she may be staying with Reginald. There's no word yet on where WWE is headed with the Bliss vs Bayzler feud, but we should have a better idea after next week's Raw. Not counting the WWE Fastlane win over Randy Orton, Bliss has not wrestled a standard match since the Raw win over Nikki Cross on February 1st. Before that, she worked the 30-woman Royal Rumble match, then defeated Asuka by disqualification on the January 25th Raw, defeated Asuka by pinfall on the January 18th Raw, and before that her last match was another win over Cross on November 23rd. Boom! WWE SmackDown took a strange turn for the Samoan bloodline this week, the 4th of June 21. Not only Jimmy and Jey Uso botched their tag title opportunities, but Universal Champion Roman Reigns also had a slip of tongue. After the Mysterios mistakenly defeated the Usos on the opening tag team title match, Roman summoned the brothers to his lounge. There, he had a heart-to-heart with his cousins. While the Usos tried to justify their stance, the tribal chief shut them up. He rebuked them over their loss against a child Dominic Mysterio, as well as the fact that they embarrassed their family. Towards the end of the promo, Roman messed up the names of his twin cousins, as he addressed Jey as Jimmy while closing the segment. As Jey corrected him, Reigns quickly snubbed him off by saying, "The way things are going, does it matter anyways?" However, the mistake was purely unintentional, as Jimmy and Roman both tried to contain their laughter after the mistake. But Jey and Paul Heyman kept their composure.
Oh, let me up with a bright smile on now. Put me in the dark, so won't get lost now. To the moonlight.